Hey, what's up? This is Joshua, daily video blog. It is sprinkling right now in Minneapolis, so I'm going to do this one on the move so that we get something recorded in case it starts raining for real and is damaging to iPhones and the like. And for some reason, I've decided to record this vertically, even though I know that's whack. Maybe just in case it's easier to hold the phone. If you have been following along, you may have noticed kind of a huge lapse in videos in the last week and a half. I keep uploading videos and they keep erroring out. So I have a little backlog that I need to get up, and I need to figure out what the problem is and why these things aren't actually uploading. On top of that, nothing. That's largely the problem, though that has led to more days without videos, as if it's crappy out, I get frustrated that I'm wondering if the video is even going to upload and what's the whole point. So, but enough of that kind of, I don't know, housekeeping crybaby nonsense. Let's see. Okay, so today is the start, I think, of a new micro series that I do not know what it's going to be called. I think it's going to be called Mistakes, or Dear God, don't do as I do, because I'm the king of dumb mistakes. Luckily not mistakes that land you in prison or anything, but certainly mistakes that cost you money and happiness and potentially progress. So yeah, let's call this the Mistake series. These will be lessons I've learned the hard way, because I'm an impulsive dude who has never met a best practice that he actually wanted to try. So it's this first video, I think is about I think it's to set up this general idea, which is that nobody really expects to just kind of move themselves into I don't know, screwing their shit up or making it mediocre or whatever. It's just a culmination of a whole bunch of decisions that you make over time. A walk to the park, I think, and that. Hold on one sec. And so you maybe make decisions that when you're younger are just kind of impulsive or potentially stupid, and they don't seem like that big a deal. But if you continue to make that same level of mistake again and again, or not even a mistake, because maybe you don't think it's a mistake, maybe you just think it's not the best decision you've ever made, but you continue to do it over and over again, you're going to find that those mistakes compound, and that they essentially become something that kind of entraps you. So a really good example is I really put off dealing with, say, my finances in a very mature way, because I was really focused on trying to get my own studio off the ground, which is really probably going to be the bulk of what these videos end up being about. But I was super focused on getting my own studio off the ground, and I neglected other important things in pursuit of that. And my sort of dumb thinking the whole time was always, once I get the studio up and running and profitable, then I'll worry about these personal matters like finances, or actually having money in my savings account, or taking out a loan to consolidate credit card debt, or whatever, coming up with a more aggressive student loan payment. Any of those things, well, I put that off for 12 years. And eventually that shit compounds to the point where you have no kind of leverage to work with. All of a sudden it's you've got more debt than ever, because every day it adds up, just like the interest adds up, just like these mistakes sort of compound and get interest, because they cost you more later than they do right now. And it just sort of builds up to where all of a sudden little things that shouldn't be maybe a big deal, finding a new house to rent become a problem because you have this debt that you hadn't handled properly or hadn't had the forethought to think when you were 30, like, this shit is going to be a problem when you're 40. Thanks. So I'm trying to think. So it's like something that at the time it's like, oh no, like once I get my studio going, this will be fine and then I'll deal with it. But instead it's like, it's just a mistake that builds up, and all of a sudden, like, when you're 40 and you have, or almost 40 I should say, and you have 2 kids, like, you've kind of painted yourself into a corner. I am hardly poor, but I break even. All my money basically goes into like paying bills, paying down debt, and I don't know what else. And it's just sort of basic life stuff. We put aside a little bit for savings. But there are times when I was younger and was making more money that I could have been, if I had been more awake at the wheel, I could have been handling things properly. But instead at that time, I was like, awesome, I have money. Let's print stuff. Like, let's pay to have stuff printed. And like, I never really thought about like what the ROI on wasting money on like printing fun stuff would be compared to the ROI of, imagine if I didn't have to pay my student loans anymore when I was like, I mean, I'll be paying them off for a while, but let's say in 5 years, I'm still going to be paying them off, and it would have been pretty sick to have that extra, whatever it is, $400-500 a month, and that I'd have a lot more leverage to use my time creatively. So I think that's going to be like the sort of bulk of this. Like, if you're watching this and you think it's not relevant, if you have a habit like I do of saying, oh, once I get this one thing set up, once I get this job, or once my business is off the ground, or once I have X amount of clients, then I'll deal with my finances, my health, my relationships, my family, my whatever reading habits. But if you do that, it's incredibly dangerous, because while the 12 years since I graduated were certainly like rich and rewarding, and I don't know, feel lived in, but at the same time they did fly by. And paying off mistakes you made when you were 27 at like 30, however, I think I'm 38, maybe I'm 39, it sucks. It's not a situation you want to be in. And the thing is, like, I didn't have dramatic problems, you know what I mean? I didn't have a drug habit or alcoholism or something, I don't know, like dramatically life ruining. It was little tiny things that didn't seem like a big deal. But if I had honestly thought about it and said, like, what if in 10 years everything is exactly the same? What would that look like? That would have hopefully kind of scared me to my core and started getting me like a little bit more awake. So thanks for watching. That's mistake series number 1. Mistakes compound, decisions compound, and maybe it's there's a Buddhist idea that nothing is truly neutral. Like, in general, everything that you do either helps a little bit or it harms a little bit. And so decisions you make when you're 22, 25, 28, whatever, 32, might not seem like they're that important. But what if you entered them with the frame that this thing I'm doing right now is either helping a little bit or it's hurting a little bit, and that there's no such thing as a neutral decision? How would that change things? All right, thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow.